So Almighty One, I actually wrote 36,000 feet up in the air. We had just gotten done with a trip, and we were headed back home, Pastor Ryan and I. And as we were about to board the plane, I looked up outside, and it was one of those kinds of sunsets that stops people in their tracks. It was such a beautiful sunset, and everybody flocked to that side of the hallway, and we all went to the glass, and we were looking at this sunset, and I just saw people marveling, and it just took me so aback by looking at something so beautiful. And so we boarded the plane, and Ryan had just preached at a church, and his message was still resonating in my mind, and in that moment I was just like, man, that sunset that stopped people in their tracks and just pointed them to Jesus. And I pray that that's what my life could do, just resonate the glory of God like that. And so that's where the first line of the song came: as the sky radiates your glory, I'll praise you. And our church was actually going through a series called Story. And so that second line of the chorus, "Let my life resonate your story," came. And it was just a beautiful way that this was formed and created. And we actually did it for the first time that week when we got back, and it was such a great time, and I'll never forget that. And so that's sort of the origin of what ended up being our first release as a church of Almighty One. Almighty One, the beauty of it is that it's such a great partnership of what Pastor Ryan does and what I do in the worship ministry of our church. His message that he had given that week was resounding in my mind so much that it was instilled in my heart. And so I was literally thinking of the words that he was preaching, and literally there are lines in Almighty One that are just lines from his message that he preached. And so I love that's such a super special thing, that is like a beautiful marriage between the Word of God being preached and a worship pastor kind of coming together in a desire to bring truth into people's minds and let it come out of their mouths as well. And so I love that partnership between Pastor Ryan and I. I genuinely pray that as people are declaring the truth of Almighty One, that they would realize that our God, who is matchless in power, there is nothing greater than His strength and His grace. And the first line of the song is, "Your grip of grace is stronger than my grip of sin." And that's a line from the message that Pastor Ryan had preached, and it's such a truth. And I pray that people that have been struggling with their sin realize that it's nothing that they can do that will overcome the sin, that Jesus has overcome it for them, and they just have to rest in that truth. And that whatever it is, that Jesus is greater than their grip of their sin, and that He can overcome that. And so, and it's a great song to declare as a church. Literally just shouting, "Our God, our God, our God." We're all in this together. That kind of idea when High School Musical on that for you. Like, we're all in this together. Like, when we're all declaring that truth together, it just brings it brings a unity in it that is such a special thing to witness. And so I really do pray that over people, they will feel unified with others as they're declaring their freedom over their sin.